Hey guys, this is John, your host on Mgtow is Freedom. Mgtow is men going their own way. One of the things that I've heard it from about the first time I started watching Mgtow videos. It'd be a couple years ago, when they were becoming popular and getting some interest. I noticed that young men, men in their late teens, men in their 20s even, were complaining, right? That they couldn't get dates with women, that women were dating older men. You know, it was pissing them off, right? And they're saying, fuck them, fuck these women then. Well, in a way, that's the right thing to think. But you need to understand, those women that you're seeing that are dating older guys, guess what they're doing, right? They're gold digging. Right? Those are gold diggers. They're going after older guys. They're looking for security. They're looking for comfort. And they're taking a shortcut. That isn't to say that, it's not a bad move on the part of the gold diggers. I guess you could say it's a good move on their part, right? For their part, they get money. They get nice cars. They get vacations. They get a big step up in status. And for the guy, he gets a younger woman, right? She looks better, right? She's probably going to tend to respect him more. But I think any man needs to understand that any woman today, especially one that is dating up or monkey branching up to him, if she's significantly younger, he needs to be aware of what he's doing. And I don't think men are. Not the average man, that is. He doesn't realize that he's being suckered as much as he thinks he may be suckering this young girl, right? But so if you see a 25-year-old girl with a man in his 30s, right, you don't even want to be looking at her, right? She's gone if you're younger, if you're in your 20s, right? Her head isn't on the same level. And this whole idea of not all women are like that, right? Those fucking unicorns, right? They're going to keep saying they're out there. All those Nawalts. But you'll see women in their 20s dating men in their 30s and 40s. Women in their 30s dating men in their 50s, right? And their 40s. And women in their 40s, they're going to jump all the way up to late 50s and even 60s. Right? In my life, yeah, my ex, guess what? The guy she's with, a lot older than me. He's in his 50s and she's in her 40s. She monkey branched right up. And at some point, these women, if they get a guy old enough in his 50s and his 60s, he can die of a heart attack. And all they need to do is be on the will or a successor trustee, right? Or be named the executor of the estate. So it's a unique game, and I'd like to talk about the uniqueness of it. See, for the young girl, for the young gold digger, I should say, in her late teens and her early 20s, she's just seeing some superficial stuff. She doesn't see the end of life, she sees the beginning of life. And she sees success. And this is where the trouble comes in with young men, is you guys haven't had a chance yet to be successful and demonstrate it through physical acquisition of goods, that is, house, car, and even status. It's hard to get that in your early 20s, so they're not interested in you. But those women, those young girls, they're looking up to guys in their late 20s maybe, but definitely in their 30s. A friend of mine's sister married a guy who owned a very profitable business. She was 17. And somehow she magically got knocked up. Funny how that works, right? Is she still married? I have no idea to that guy. Is she happy? I have no fucking clue. Has she screwed him out of everything? I couldn't tell you. I just know, right, that there's a game that's played. So these young women, right, in their early 20s, they'll get hooked up with a guy in his 30s because they want that nicer car. They want that house. And the guy, he's more than happy to be banging a college-age chick again. More than happy. Right? And what guy in his 30s wouldn't? Right? If he's not Mgtow, he's going to be thinking he's scoring, right? And she's thinking, I'm scoring. I got to get this guy to marry me, right? And then she can play the game. She's moved up. She's cheated life by 10, 15 years. She's getting the materialism that she wants. Now, the thing that the guy in his 30s doesn't understand is while she may respect him somewhat, she's still worried about herself. Number one, her security. And that clock will tick. Tick, 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 tick. And at some point, she'll be fucking someone else. And at some point, she'll be thinking divorce, and I'm going to take his shit. Right? And so these guys, these blue pill guys that don't have any idea, who date younger women, they're going to get that. Fucking younger women are dangerous. But not just these late teens and early 20s. Let's talk about women. Women who are 30. They're about to hit that fucking wall if they haven't done it already. Right? Their ass is starting to get a little big, starting to get some wrinkles. Right? The shape ain't there the way it used to be, getting a little blocky. Right? That's what's going on with them. Who are they going to date? Right? They can't get a guy their age. Who the fuck wants them? If they're starting to cougar or puma, and I don't give a fuck about the names, right? I'm trying to keep it real on the idea level, the concept. They can start dating younger guys and getting all the dick they want. And they probably do. But they're also going to be looking up. Who's going to accept me in this position, in this condition? 30, 35-year-old woman. Who wants that? Right? The average woman at that age is falling apart. Starting to fall apart bad. She's going to be looking to a guy in his mid to late 40s. Maybe even early 50s. Depending on how much she needs to jump up. How good she looks. How much money the guy has. All those things are considerations for gold diggers. Remember Anna Nicole Smith. What'd she do? Marry that fucking guy in his late 80s? Or was he in his 90s? I can't even remember. Well, he was a fucking billionaire, right? So it was worth it. I'm sure she tried killing that motherfucker with sex. And to be frank, I would too. I'd have just pushed him down the fucking staircase. But that's me. Alright, so we're looking at these women in their late 20s, like 29, 28, 30, 31, 33. They're looking for a guy in his mid-40s, right? They haven't gotten married or they're divorced. They've got a couple of kids, right, who are 10 years old. They can get knocked up again if they're real lucky, right? And if they want to start over, right, start a family over with this guy, really tie herself to him that way. That way she can be sure that he can't get away and he feels obligated to her. Because remember, this guy now, even if he's not Mgtow, he's in his 40s, he's got some experience. He's going to be set in his ways somewhat. He's probably divorced, right? What's that woman going to be looking for? She's going to be looking to tie him up. She's going to want to get hitched, right? Because she knows she's over the wall. Or tumbling over the top. Right? So she needs to get married. She can't marry a younger guy, anyone her age. Right? The guy's going to be a fucking loser if he's going to accept her. She's trash. But an older guy will look down, right, and see a 30-year-old girl and go, hey, she's still in good shape, right? Got a few dents in the fender, but not bad. So there she goes. And what does she got to do? Take care of him, right? For at least a few years. Why? Why take care of him for a few years? Well, she's got to convince him to marry her. A little trickier to get a 45-year-old guy to marry you than it is to get a 30-year-old guy to marry you when you're hot and out of high school. Right? This older guy's, they're a little warier. They've been around the block. So they got to be nicer for a little longer. But they do get them. Now, this guy in his 40s, his mid-40s to his late 40s, maybe even his early 50s, he's starting to make big money, right? He's reached his stride in his success. He should have a big house unless he lost it, right? Possibly he's done paying child support to his first wife. He's probably upper management, business owner. He is a very attractive guy. as far as a gold digging whore is concerned. You know, she's going to want him. The more money he's got, the harder she will try. At least an intelligent gold digging whore would try. You know, so that's what happens. So we're looking at, again, 30 to 35-year-old getting on with a 45 to 50-year-old. Oh yeah, they'll do it in a second. And then you move up to the next stage. Woman who's hit 40 and beyond, right? It is a rare, rare woman that is still hot. Right? You're talking less than 1% of the population out there has a smoking hot body, right, after age 40. But they're there. I've seen them. They walk around, right? They're walking around, or, you know, or maybe, I don't fucking know. I think they're walking around. They're out there, right? I'm going to say maybe they're mega surgically enhanced. But any way you look at them, they're out there. But here's my thing. If you see a smoking hot woman who's age 40 and she's single, there's something fucking cuckoo with her. Cuckoo with Cocoa Puffs, right? She is fucked in the head. If she divorced a man, there's a reason why. She stole his shit. She took half his wealth, right? Now that little girl that gets the 30-year-old guy, she gets the Toyota Camry. Right? The girl in her 30s who gets the 45-year-old guy, right? She's got the Lexus. Right? The 40-year-old woman who lands the guy who's 60, what does she get? Right. Whatever the fuck she wants if she does it right. And if she's smoking hot. And she doesn't even have to be smoking hot. She can just look really good. Now, a woman in her 40s is different than a woman who's 30 or a woman who's 20. A woman in her 40s is really experienced at the game. She knows how to manipulate masterfully. And except for Mgtow, she's going to be able to really turn on the charm and convince these older guys that she's worth it. Right? And who's she going to go after if she's 40 to 45? She's going to go after that guy who's 55 to 65, maybe even 70. Right? Now, why would she do that? Ask yourself, why? This guy is still in his money-making prime. Management, business owner, executive. She's going to be hammering him, right? Taking good care of that fucking guy. And he's going to feel like a stud because he's landed him and a younger girl. And he would say, even at my age, man, I'm 65, even at my age. And that fucks with him. It don't matter what your age is. And I'm sure I could bang college chicks for a couple $100. I know I could. Anyone could. But the blue pill man, 55, 60, 65, maybe even 70, he's thinking, fuck, this chick's in her 40s. She's nice, she cooks, she takes care of me, she sucks my dick, she does anything I want. Right? So that's how they get the older guys. Now what the woman's thinking, she's playing the game different. Right? She sees that there is an end to life. Unlike the girl in her 20s who thinks she's going to live forever. The girl in her early 30s who goes, whoops, maybe I won't live forever. The girl in her 40s goes, it's going to end soon. I'm pretty fucked. I'm at the end of the fucking game. Right? Can't play the game much longer. Right? They know, and so they need to get an older guy. They need to get locked in. These smart gold diggers in their 40s, they'll get locked in. They're on their second or third marriage idea, concept with this guy. And they know they've got to